Yes, now it's Andy Webb. He's the author of a new book, Dianarama. We're talking to Andy about the book and the BBC more broadly. Very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, good to be here.
The book is a follow-up to the original work you did, which I guess uncovered the misdeeds of Martin Bashir to secure the interview in the first place. Just remind our viewers exactly what we're talking about, what happened back in the 90s.
Wow, what happened? Well, OK, I mean, still to this day, the most momentous piece of television, that the BBC's ever made and almost certainly ever will make. Unfortunately, it is tainted, it is sordid, it is toxic. That's what that bit of television is. I mean, people may remember, the interview that Diana gave, but when you consider why she gave it, that is what makes it so toxic. Yeah.
And look, it's one. How would you describe how the BBC has reacted to your investigations and to the revelations that have come out? They had the internal investigation. There was another, I think, in 2021. Do you think they were kind of reluctant, or were they open when they came to look at this? Well,
let's put it this way: the BBC has a charter duty, a legal duty, to be transparent. I mean, that's not just a fond aim, it's a legal duty. To say that they were not transparent back in 1996 and indeed in 2020, it would be a huge understatement. The critical lack of transparency was in 1996, when it is beyond doubt, beyond peradventure, that if they had briefed Princess Diana on what they knew at that time, then, her life would not have very plausibly followed the course it did, which, of course, was a tragic course. She was dead in 18 months or so after the interview went out.
Just repeat what you're saying there. So you're saying that her life wouldn't have followed the same tragic course. So are you saying that she maybe would not have died?
Well, yeah, and it's not sort of just me saying that, because who kind of cares what a journalist thinks? In the view of her brother, Charles Spencer, who answered that question when I put it to him, very calmly and sensibly and reflectively, and he ended by saying, yeah, the consequences of the interview were lethal.
The fact that the interview led to much division, or the fact that it led to paranoia about how information came about? Just expand on that a bit.
Well, very briefly, I think paranoia is rather an unfair term to use.
Sure, I agree.
But no, as a result of the interview, Princess Diana sort of shunned, forced away, did away with all the people around her whom she could trust, who provided counsel and so on. Her private secretary, Patrick Jeffson, her chauffeur, was sacked. So 18 months later, she finds herself in Paris, being driven by a drunken driver, and the accident happens. Yes, of course. I mean, the tragedy, the heartbreak, I think, for her family is if there is only a 30% chance, a 40% chance, a 50% chance that Diana would not have been there, then how heartbreaking is that? And what they want, and I can say to you, Prince William in particular wants is transparency. He does want transparency. He wants to know things that it's taken me, more than I've found out in the years that I've been spending on this. Are there any more missing smoking guns in the BBC archives? For instance, 4 of them having been weeded.
Just finally, obviously, the BBC's facing other issues today. Samir Shah, the chair, goes in front of MPs. Do you think in the last year they've tried to be transparent? I mean, we've seen 2 high-profile scalps as part of this. Is that them trying to draw a line under their current troubles?
I don't know. What I would say is this, that let's call it Dianagate. If you like, Dianagate has been a very, very effective stress test for Trumpgate. The lack of transparency, the lack of honesty, and indeed the simple lack of competence that has been shown in handling Dianagate. It didn't surprise me at all to see what's happened. And indeed, the chairman, Samir Shah, his name is in my book, and I wonder how well he is going to do.
Well, that book, Dianarama, is out now, and we thank you, Andy, so much for joining us to talk about it. Andy Webb there.